Good morning, my dear students. After 4-5 days, we are meeting. Many of the students, rather 3-4 students, had called me that we have not studied chapter 3. In chapter 3, this one, 3C, soft water and hard water. So, my dear students, this chapter 3C is excluded from your syllabus for this year. Last day in our previous class we had studied about water of crystallization. Now, what is water of crystallization? We had seen that the amount of water, rather fixed amount of water present in the crystal during crystallization, during the formation of crystal, is your water of crystallization. Today we will study efflorescence. My very simple experience is what? What is our experience? If something get wet, what do? We keep it in the sun so that water will escape out, water will evaporate. Suppose if there is no sun, then what our mummy used to do? They keep that wet substance under the fan. If the light is, there is no electricity for 4-5 days, then what they used to do? They keep it in a place. Why? So that the air present in the atmosphere will absorb the moisture present from that substances. तो आपने देखा होगा कि अगर धूप नहीं है और अगर लाइट लो की मम्मी जो भी चीज़ भीग जाता है तो वो रख देती है बाहर में. Why? To dry it up. So that process is your something like efflorescence, a property, a phenomenon where a compound loses its water of crystallization. It loses the water present in it. Cup on exposure to the dry air. It is called efflorescence. So, my dear students, I am not challenging the book. This is here somewhere we will see that this is a phenomenon in which a compound loses its water of crystallization partially or completely. जैसे धूप में हम कपड़ा सूखने देते हैं तो पतला कपड़ा तुरंत सूख जाता है, मोटा कपड़ा आज नहीं तो कल भी सूखेगा. आज थोड़ा वाटर लूज किया, कल ज़्यादा लूज करेगा. सिमिलरली इट द substances loses its water of crystallization partially or completely when they are exposed to the atmospheric air, means dry air of the atmosphere. The result is in the loss of crystalline shape and crumbling of crystals into powder when the water escapes out. Now, if you take that that substance, wet substance, and if you press it, it will break into pieces very easily. Now it is in a position to be powdered. This property is called efflorescence, and such substances are called efflorescent substance. Efflorescence occurs when vapor pressure in the hydrated crystal exceeds atmospheric vapor pressure, means when the water vapor is more in the substances in comparison to that of atmosphere, then we know from higher concentration it goes towards the lower concentration. So if the vapor pressure of that wet substance is more than atmospheric vapor pressure, then this wet substance loses the water and gets dry. For example, here is your washing soda. If it is soda, if it is wet, do you think that this hydrated sodium carbonate or this washing soda, if it contains 10 molecules of water, it will be called washing soda? If it is wet, if we keep in the sun, very suddenly it will lose all its water and becomes dry sodium carbonate? No, it loses gradually. First it loses one molecule of water, then it loses one another molecule of water, and so on. So it loses partially and partially, right? It loses partially. So hydrated compounds do not lose its water of crystallization once at a time, but it loses partially. There are another example. Now deliquescence, and one is your hygroscopic. Both are the substances. We can understand it by this. The substances, they are of two types, and both of the substances absorb moisture from the atmosphere. This substance plus this substance, both the substances absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Now, one substance, after absorbing moisture from the atmosphere, it gets dissolved. But this also absorbs moisture from the atmosphere but does not get dissolved. So the substance which absorbs moisture from the atmosphere and finally it is dissolved, they are called deliquescent substance. Deliquescent substance, and this property is called deliquescence. Another type of substance which absorbs moisture from the atmosphere but do not dissolve, they are called hygroscopic substance. So what is hygroscopic substance? The substance which absorbs moisture from the atmosphere but they do not dissolve are called hygroscopic, and the substance which on exposure to atmosphere it absorbs moisture from the atmosphere and finally get dissolved are called deliquescent substance, and property is called deliquescence. If we see the same thing, language may be different. Not all the substance, certain substance which are soluble in water, means water soluble substance. Certain means some water soluble substance when exposed to atmosphere, even at room temperature, ordinary temperature, these substances absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Atmosphere means atmospheric air and become moist, and when it becomes moist, it gradually loses its crystalline shape and finally, ultimately means finally it gets dissolved in the absorbed water, forming a saturated solution. Such substance is called deliquescent substance, and the property is called deliquescency. So now what is deliquescence and where it occurs? When it occurs, the deliquescence property occurs when vapor pressure inside the crystal is very less in comparison to the vapor pressure present in the atmosphere. If the water pressure is less inside the crystal, it will absorb the water from the atmosphere. So thus deliquescent is minimized. This property is minimized during dry condition, means in summer season. You might have noticed that in summer season, for example, sugar is very dry. It does not contain much water, but in the rainy season, the same sugar, if we purchase it from the shop, seems to be moisty, seems to contain some waters. Here are some examples: caustic soda, caustic potash. The sodium hydroxide is also called as your caustic soda, and potassium hydroxide is also called as your caustic potash. Here are some examples. Then hygroscopic, some substances which absorb moisture from the atmosphere when they are exposed, but they not enough to form solution, means they do not dissolve. Such substances are called hygroscopic substance, and this property of absorbing the water from the or water vapor from the atmosphere without dissolving is called hygroscopic. Here are some examples. Now, drying agent and dehydrating agent. See, my dear friends, water present in the substances, they are of two types. Some waters are present in the crystals, in the salts. Basically, we will study about the crystals, which are chemically unreacted. Another type of water is there which are chemically reacted. So, the drying agent are the substances that very readily, very easily absorbs moisture from the other substance without chemically reacting. So, drying agent is what? These are the substances which absorbs water from other substance. Water from other substance, those water present in the substance, but it is not chemically reacted, and when we add this drying agent, it absorbs that unchemically reacted water. Such substance is called drying agents, like calcium chloride and hydrous calcium, dry calcium chloride. These are some examples. We may be asked, same thing you will study in class 10 also, almost same thing. You may be asked in your board exam, write 2 examples of drying agents. Here, the water present in the substance was not chemically reacted, and the substance which removes this unreacted water, they are called drying agents. Now, those substances are also called desiccants or desiccating agents. लगभग almost all the hygroscopic substances are these drying or desiccating agents. Now, dehydrating. I have told you just right now, few minutes before, that water are present in the crystal in 2 forms. One may be unreacted water, not chemically reacted. Another one, water present in the crystal in the form of chemically reacted. So this dehydrating agents are the substances which can remove the water present in the crystal which are chemically reacted, means dehydrating agents are substances that can remove even chemically combined water molecules present in that compound. This concentrated sulfuric acid is dehydrating agent because it can remove even the chemically reacted water present in the salt or crystal. This is your CuSO4 copper sulfate containing 5 molecules of water. In my previous class I had told you in water of crystallization this fixed amount of water, if it is present in copper sulfate, it will be called as your blue vitriol. When few amounts of sulfuric acid is added, this water is absorbed and now we get copper sulfate. When it is in the aqueous state, its color is blue. Now when it is dry, its color is white. My dear students, this thing you will, once again I would like to tell you that you will study the same thing in class 10. If the copper sulfate salt, any copper salt, if it is dry, it will be white, but when it is hydrated, color will be blue. Here are 2-3 examples. One more thing, you go through this. Here is one thing. This is not in your syllabus this year. This is included. What is the difference between drying and dehydrating? First one is very simple. They remove moisture from the substance which are not chemically reacted, and they also remove the water. But what type of water? Which are chemically combined or which are chemically reacted with that compound in the form of 2:1. Obviously H2O, 2 is the, what is this 2? 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Then they are used to dry the gases. This drying agent, they are used to dry the gases like chlorine, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen chloride. When we will go in class 10, we will see in the chapter of hydrogen chloride, sulfuric acid, how these drying agents absorbs the unreacted water present in the gas. This is, they prepare substances like carbon monoxide, sugar, charcoal. This one is your, this carbon 12C. So this is carbon, but when this sugar is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, a piece of a block starts floating over the sulfuric acid, that is pure coal. It is called sugar charcoal. Then they represent physical change. Drying agents, they represent physical change as composition do not change during the drying of the substance. Only water is removed. If you add water, once again it will have the same thing. There will be no chemical change, but here will be the chemical change because the chemically reacted water is removed from the substance. So once again I would like to remind you, my dear students, some students had called me that we have left that soft and hard water. No problem, it will be for your general knowledge. We will see it in the next class. So wish you all the best. This much will be your chapter syllabus. In the next class we will see, undoubtedly we will see the water, softness water, hardness of water, what are the reasons of hardness of water, how it can be removed. We will see it in the next class. Don't be worried. And after next class, no new chapter we will start. We will do the revision only. See you. Goodbye. All the best and be ready for the exams. Thank you. Bye bye.